To optimize the camera for pictures of sports, I recommend using the shutter priority mode. You'll want to make sure the flash is turned off. You might need to use the manual focus. I recommend using the continuous shooting mode. And as always, you'll want to set the appropriate white balance. Let's get started by setting the shutter priority mode. Set the mode dial to TV. This stands for time value. What that means is that you set the camera's shutter speed, and the camera will automatically set an appropriate aperture so you end up with a balanced exposure. For sports photography, you want a fast shutter speed to stop the action. Use the ring in the front of the camera to increase the shutter speed to about 1/400th or 1/500th of a second. If there's enough light in your scene, for example, outdoors in a bright sunny day, you'll probably be able to set a faster shutter speed and be okay. Whether you want to set a faster shutter speed depends on the sport you're taking a picture of and how fast the action is moving. Since the subject is probably more than 10 feet away, you want to make sure the flash is turned off. Go ahead and press the flash button right here, or the right navigation button, and use the control dial to set the flash to off. Give it a second to go away, or just press the set button. Because digital cameras sometimes have a hard time focusing on moving targets, you might need to use the manual focus. You may also want to try focusing on something at roughly the same distance. For example, I'll focus on the ground next to my subject, and then recompose the image so my subject is properly framed. Now I know that the focus is locked at about the same distance, and I'm ready to take my picture. If you're not able to lock focus, you might need to set the manual focus. To set the manual focus, simply press the manual focus icon or the left navigation button right here, and use the control dial or the right navigation button to choose manual focus. Give it a second to go away, or press the set button. Now I need to use the control dial to set the distance between the camera and my subject. Usually the subject is far enough away where I can simply set this to infinity. However, if in your case the subject is closer, you want to approximate the distance between the camera and the subject. Setting the manual focus really works best as long as the subject is running across the field of view, not towards you or away from you. Once the manual focus is set, you can press the up navigation button or the exposure compensation button right here in order to have the control dial set the exposure compensation as opposed to the manual focus. You may also want to set the continuous shooting function. Go ahead and press the function button to access the function menu, and go all the way down to the drive mode function right here. Here, either use the control dial or the right navigation button to choose the continuous shooting function. What this does is allow you to press and hold the shutter button all the way down, and the camera will continuously take pictures. This way, you can more easily follow and track the subject as it's moving. Before you exit the functions menu, let's go ahead and set the appropriate white balance. Use the up or down navigation button to get to the white balance function right here. Now use the control dial to set this appropriately. If it's a bright sunny day, set this to daylight. If it's a little bit cloudy, you can set this to cloudy, which will help warm up the tones in the image a bit. If you're in a stadium at night, you may want to set this to tungsten to compensate for the tungsten lights being used. For this demonstration, I'll set this to daylight and then press set to escape the function menu. Now I'm ready to take my picture. My flash is turned off, my shutter speed is properly set, I'm using the continuous shooting function, and my white balance is properly set. Go ahead and place the focusing brackets over the subject. Press the shutter button halfway to lock focus, or if you're using the manual focus function, then you'll just need to lock the exposure. Now go ahead and recompose the image so the action is framed the way you want it in the picture. Then, just before the action takes place, you want to press and hold the shutter button all the way down. You can see that with the shutter button pressed all the way down, the camera continues to take pictures, and I can pan and track the subject as the action is happening.